It could happen. Hey, welcome to the Toolshed. We're so glad that you stopped by here. I'm hanging out in this one-of-a-kind Toolshed with my good friend, Eddie McFarlane. Good morning, sir.
It's an original filled with originals. Good morning.
The original.
That's what some say.
That's awesome.
That's what some say.
I think TaylorMade has a hat that says the original. I might have to get me one of those. Yeah,
TaylorMade.
Hey, hashtag TaylorMade. Maybe a Clemson football original fan.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, this Toolshed is brought to you by Schedule Engine. We're super happy and thankful for their giving back to the industry and letting us do this. And this episode, which is going to be my favorite one from season 2.
It's a biggie.
I'm going to call it out before it happens.
Calling your shot.
And it's brought to you by our good friends at Emerson. We're super thankful for that partnership. Real good people.
Wow, where to start? This is the week 8. We've been doing this for 8 weeks. You don't look a day younger. Older, I guess. I don't know where I've got. But hey, hopefully you've been along for the ride. And hopefully you've been sharing, you've been joining in the conversation. But as Jerry says, this is the huddle. And the game's out there. So we're going to finish our huddle strong. Our friend Jerry has a monster story episode for you, just tons of dripping with wisdom and dripping with, I don't like the way that sounded. Yeah, tons and good stuff. You know, sometimes you hear yourself say it and you're like, yep, and you can't do it. It's not a thing. So if we had a bigger budget, we could add to that.
That's true.
Tons of good stuff, and I'm so excited. So let's jump in. As always, big shout out. So today's shout out goes to everybody that is getting in the trades. If you're in a VOTEC today, if somebody forwarded this to you, and you're in an institute, whether it's through the high school, I think of our friends at Upper Valley, Tony Trapp. He's busy teaching, or he would be here. Big fan of the show. New England Institute, our local Brownstown Botanical Institute, whatever you are, we're thankful you're getting in the trades. We need you. We're glad you're here, and you're on a great path. You made a great decision, and
you can get in on the secret, and that's the cool part, right? You can get into the trades, and you can get in early.
Oh my goodness!
And you can stay in it for a long time, and you can do it to your my age.
Hey.
Or maybe longer than that, hopefully.
It's so funny. People ask us, well, where did you learn all this? And so much of what Jerry and I are sharing, we were right where you were. I remember some of this exact lines, verbiage, ideas, lessons came as I was fortunate enough to work for a great company, sitting there taking notes on the back of my invoice pad. And here we are. So today, take it, put it in, and who knows where your path in the trades will take you. But we're so glad you're here, and we're so glad you're in the tool shed with us today. So welcome.
It's gonna be fun, yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about the trade. You know what? Since we're talking about coming in the trades, you know what you need if you're in the trades?
You need HVAC Jess. You need memes. Let me just say something until I hit it.
Yeah, keep going.
Reefer guy?
Nope.
Safety.
All of those things are
Tools.
True. Yes. We practiced real good hard.
We rehearsed that. I thought it was smoother in rehearsal.
No comment. Here we're going to give it away, and this week to celebrate the final week, it's a monster. Let me read this because it's all the cool kids do. They call it collaboration. So we had tools, Beetle Pro Pack. We are going to give you a backpack style tool bag filled with WeHa tools, 30 tools, everything from screwdrivers, all that pliers, the Allen wrench, you name it, Cadillac stuff. Great way to start. And listen, there's only 3 things you need to do to be in the running. One, you need to either join the group. 2, join the Facebook group. 2, you need to invite people because it's nice to invite people.
3,
engage. Just start a conversation, answer a question, make a comment, bring more to the table than you take, be a good human, and engage in the Toolshed Facebook, supported by scheduling. So that's pretty cool. We've got a super secret Facebook only giveaway.
Double secret probation.
Super secret. Join the Facebook. We're not going to talk about it.
We're not talking about
We're not
that.
talking about that. That's all. We said too much. Join the group and learn all about it. And let's just say, if you like Jerry, you might like this. There, I said too much. You know what? I'm taking it back. I said too much.
Keep a secret.
Well, you knew that. Okay, I've said too much. It's fine. Just check out the group. It'll be good. Shh. All right. Okay. So, speaking of tools and secrets, it's no secret we're a fan of HVAC Jess here at the Toolshed. See what I did there?
Yeah, nice.
They call that a segue in the industry. We're huge fans, and here's the deal. She's swamped, but she's continued to share her wisdom with us. And Jerry and I, we were talking about all the good advice. And here's the advice for today, especially for the apprentices, but it goes for all of us. Invest in good tools. Jerry, you were saying,
buy good tools. You think, like, when you're an apprentice, like, I don't have a lot of money, maybe I'll get the cheap tools.
You can't afford cheap tools.
You can't afford cheap ones, and you buy them twice. And so if money, I was in sales for a long time. Listen, if money's the reason not to do it, money's the reason to do it.
The obstacle is the way.
It is. Yeah, that's right.
So here's the deal. Buy a good tool. It'll last your life. When you think of all of the stuff that we have, like rigid wrenches, they last forever. All these tools that we're talking about, buy it, and you will make more money with good tools, and you'll never regret purchasing good tools. And here's the power of tools. You kind of have to use them. So, like, we talk a lot about apprentice. Thank you, HVAC Jess. Check her out on Instagram. But here's the deal. We're fans. Here's the deal. That goes for investing in good tools is a message we can all use. The tool shed, like any other tool, if you never take it out of the van and you never put it in your hand and you never put it into action, what's the point, right? So if you're in the tool shed today, take action, invest in good tools, communication tools, technology tools, trade tools, whatever it is, invest in the best, but put it into action because it'll make you money. That was pretty high.
Yeah, wow.
Wow, I had to get right up there. Anyway, all right, having way too much fun. Let's keep it moving. Speaking of fun.
Memes. I was ready.
Crushed it. Crushed it, Jerry. All right, let's pull up the first one and 10 points if you can see what's wrong.
Wow.
Yeah, I think maybe there's some magic in that spigot thing. I don't know. Maybe there's, maybe that's a spigot at Hogwarts or something. I don't understand that, but maybe, I don't know, there's a sign, so it must be a thing. Speechless.
I don't even know what to say to that other than there's a reason they put those signs up. Yeah, because somebody tried the other direction.
I like to picture this. Hey, Steve, do me a favor. We need drinking water and non-drinking water over in the outside spigot. Take the whole day. And he's like, boss is an idiot. This is going to take me 2 minutes. Crushed it, nailed it. Next job, please. Thank you. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Hey, where there's a will, there's a way. It was a hot season. And I see this every year, and I just can't tell if this is genius. Like,
it's genius level.
I kind of think it's like the Conestoga wagon. You know what I mean? There's some ingenuity there. It's tough to rag on that because
I just think about the person in the passenger seats. Huh? Say, hey, can you jump out and start the generator?
At the traffic light, holding the hand up to the car behind you because you're putting another 2 liters. Oh, Lord. Okay, all right, let's keep going before we give anybody ideas. All right, speaking of summer, it's hot out there, folks, and we talked about it. Stay hydrated. And meanwhile, you're like, huh? Your kidneys are yelling. You're yelling. They're begging for help. Don't be like this guy. Stay hydrated. Stay cool. All right, let's put the last one. It's stupid. This one, yeah. right now there's some people feeling pretty convicted.
It's like such a true statement.
The realtor's like, oh yeah, and the HVAC system's going to be great because the person that lived here is an HVAC tech, and you're like, ex-nailed it. No chutney.
Yeah.
It's please don't look at my air filter.
I'm pretty sure that the painter's house is the last one painted.
You know what? My dad was a painter and decorator, and we were
that's true.
It was perpetually half wallpapered, and God bless him, he was always painting someone else's house. But that's how it goes. Cobbler's kids, folks. That and other folk tales brought to you by the Toolshed. All right, too much fun, and keep those coming. We love that you guys are sharing those. All right, let's talk safety, and this one is kind of important as we head out of summer and into heating season. And one of the most important things, we talk a lot about it. I know the team at Haller wins your safety awards every year because of this. It's CO. Carbon monoxide. Here's the thing. It's no joke, folks. It's no joke. It kills people every year. And whilst it may not be the most aggressive thing, it's sort of like winning the lottery. It doesn't happen to everybody, but it happens to somebody. And your job as a professional is to make sure it doesn't happen to any of your clients, your friends, or your loved ones. And so the way you do that is by educating yourself first, just like everything else, and then work safe, be safe, right? Our friend, a reefer guy, is always saying, and I can't think of a better way of being a good human than to educate people about the dangers of carbon monoxide. So any fossil fuel, byproduct of incomplete combustion, you guys get it, you're in the trade. We talked a lot about money mindset in the past weeks, and one of the biggest aha moments that we've seen some of our technicians make, because they make, like everything, they make cheap monitors, and then they have these low-level detectors, low-level monitors that are really quite expensive, relatively speaking, compared to the cheaper ones. But if you want to see the power of education unlocked, it's educate someone about CO, and then set them loose. And these things, literally best thing you do. And if you're working in confined space and you're brazing, you're doing all these things, just be safe. We know a lot of technicians in the Toolshed family will wear CO monitors so they go into houses. We've literally hear from people every year that have saved families because their personal monitors went off. If you're a team lead or if you're an owner, please, there's organizations like NCI, they have a whole curriculum about this. You use combustion analyzers on your tools, be a good craftsman, not ashamed of his work, and CO, take it seriously.
I know a guy. I know a technician that really latched onto this and really educated himself, and now he educates all of his customers during the wintertime about CO, and you would not believe the reviews that he gets just based on that. And he goes home every day feeling like he really kept his customers safe. Health and safety of the family, man. Like, he latched onto it, and it was just a beautiful thing.
It's funny when you understand this, and Eric Kinsey, a champion plumber. Yeah, he's got it. He does the same thing. He considers it his moral responsibility. Remember, information asymmetry. Once you know something and you don't share it, that's a choice you're making. So he's just going to tell everybody. He's kind of like an evangelist for CO. But he considers it his first job is to educate people and keep them safe before anything else, and safety first. So Reefer Guy would be proud of us. Mike, I hope you're having a good day. Thanks for being a friend of the Toolshed, and thanks for sharing your wisdom. So, CO.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Eric's
a good cat too.
Oh, Eric's super good, and he's that rabid educator. He if you get 2 minutes in the parking lot with him, he's going to be telling you about CO, and we love it. Thank you, Eric. Cool. All right, so mission statements, big rocks. Last full episode of the season as we start this last week all around this stuff, and we kind of talked about this in the past. So what's what would you share in this? So
here's kind of how this happened. In season 1, I drove all over the town looking for colored sand, so that we can, and Cheetos boxes. And so we did the one on big rocks, and we really had great engagement with that. We had tons of people sharing that with their families and people outside the trades, and we really, we appreciate that. And so we felt like that was a good topic. And so another topic that I had taught on before was a personal mission statement. And so that's what today's all about, is a personal mission statement. It's kind of like a goal, but a little bit different. So a personal mission statement is really a vision. And it's that vision of where you want to see yourself further along in your life or in your career or with your family. So it's a vision, and like everything I say, you got to write it down.
True.
You got to put it on paper. You got to put it in your phone. You got to put it in your iPad. But you got to write it down. But it's a vision of where you want to go, and it's the whole concept of starting with the end in mind.
Preach.
And so that whole concept is all around the fact that things happen twice. First, they have to happen in your mind before they happen in your life, right? And so things don't just happen by accident. So let's just talk about like this personal mission statement. And what it's like is this, Eddie. It's like taking a flight. I live in Charlotte, and so it's like taking a flight from Charlotte, North Carolina to San Francisco. All right, so just imagine, our destination is San Francisco. But what they tell me is that flight, that airplane could be off course as much as 90% of the time on the way to San Francisco.
Right on.
And you're like, no way, because I watched the apps where the airplanes fly, right?
It looks a pretty straight line.
Just think about it, like from somebody that travels a lot, like you get turbulence.
Weather.
You get weather. You fly around storms. Sometimes I lay over in Dallas or Denver or Phoenix or Chicago before I go to San Francisco.
You get winds.
There's a bunch of different ways. You might have some kind of mechanical problem with the plane. I've flown 6 hours to San Francisco to get there and circle the airport for an hour.
Yep, I've had one of those.
Right, so we're off course a little bit, but the whole time they're off course, that pilot is getting constant feedback to get him back on course.
Okay.
Constant feedback to try to get him back on course. And so that's how the personal mission statement sets up. And I want to make sure I get all this right. It's important that I can share this with you.
What you're saying is there's a destination, and because we know where that destination is, we can take readings at any time and know how to get there?
That's exactly right. And your destination is like, there's two parts to it. Right. The first part is your vision, and then the second part is your principles.
All right.
So your vision is where you're going, where the destination is. We're going to San Francisco. Your principles are really some like undeniable truths that you deem so important that you take those values onto yourself and say, I'm not going to bend that one.
Right.
Right.
That's how you're going to get there.
That's right. And so the picture is the vision. The destination is the vision. And then your values, they kind of tell you how to get there. Okay, does that make sense?
Love it. Yeah,
all right.
I'm taking notes.
So you got your vision, you got your principles, and you can, there's a couple of things when you're writing this mission statement that you want to do.
You want to include.
You want to make sure you do this. Like the first one is, it has to be timeless. It has to be timeless. So in 20 years, here's my plan.
Okay.
I'm going to have a cabin in the mountains.
Okay.
Right? And you're always working toward that cabin in the mountains.
Got it.
You follow me?
Yep.
It's got to be not just the ends, but the means. What
does that mean? Yeah.
In other words, you can't just say, I'm going to have a house in the mountains. You have to say, I'm going to have a house in the mountains. Here's how I'm going to do it.
What you're saying
I'm
is
going to put this much away for this many years because I know that'll get me there.
You can't just sort of write up on a piece of paper, put it on the bedside dresser, wake up one day and hope it happens?
No, that's
Come
right.
on, Jerry.
And now your personal mission statement has to include all the roles in your life. So it has to be as a husband or a wife or a partner or a spouse, a son, a brother.
Yep.
It has to include all of that because all those
employee.
All of those are big rocks.
Right on.
Right, and it has to do with your personal mission statement, and so it has to be all dimensions of your life. So it's got to be spiritual,
Yep.
It's got to be physical. You got to take care of your health.
Yep.
Right?
Because getting to that cabin and not being able to enjoy it.
You got to take care of your mental state of mind, right? So super, super important. There's a couple of reasons why people won't do a personal mission statement. What I would encourage you to do, just Google it and it'll talk to you about how to write a personal mission statement.
Lots of good stuff
listen,
out there.
like this is the deal. This is a good thing to do in your career. What I want to do in my career. So you start with the end in mind. Here's where I'm going to end up.
Okay.
Here's the steps I'm going to take to get there.
Yeah.
Like you talk a lot about like if you don't know where you're going.
Yep.
You
every wind will get you there.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. And if you don't know which port you're going to, it doesn't matter which way the wind's blowing.
That's right.
And I see this a lot in people's career. They sort of show up every day. And here's what I've seen is the time is going to pass either way. You're going to wake up and it's going to be 40. You're going to be 40. You're going to be 50. You're going to be whatever age you are, and you either will have set the destination, decided on how you're going to do it and what you're willing to pay. We talk a lot about, the scales, like, what are you going to do to fuel your journey?
Yeah, so like, HVAC Jess, she's an apprentice, right? Like she may think like, man, it's really hard and it's taken me a really long time to get to that next level. But the thing is, those 5 years, they're going to go by whether she's working to do that or not.
Yeah, right.
So that's what you're saying there. And so that time's going to go by anyway. And so you want to make sure that you know what that destination is going to be, because what we do is we overestimate what we can do in a day or in a week or in a month, and we underestimate what we can do in 5 years or 10 years. And if you'll paint that picture, and I've seen lots of people do this super successfully, you paint that picture of where you want your life to go. Now, sometimes you get off track because you got to go around storms. Yep. Sometimes you have like an unruly person on the plane.
Yes. Yep.
Right? And so, like, sometimes you have to get off the plane and get on another plane.
Yep.
And sometimes people have to leave the plane that
But you still know where you want to get to.
But you still know where you're going, right? There's going to be setbacks along the way. You're going to have delays, right?
I heard it said that, and I don't know, I think it's an old folks saying, is that your goal is written in stone, the plan is written in sand.
Very, very true.
Right? Like, you know where you're going to go, and you have a rough idea of what you're going. You may have a plan for your career, and we talk about these external forces. That could be the equivalent of what you're talking about. You may plan to become a trainer, and the place isn't big enough to have a trainer, right? You may have to.
That's exactly right.
But you can work towards it. You may get laid off. You may have a health incident, but you can still work towards the overall vision. The picture.
Well, listen, like you hear this a lot with athletes.
Yeah.
With the professional athletes, they'll say, Mike Trout said when he was a little boy, he knew he wanted to play Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
That was
singular
the destination.
Vision. That's a singular vision.
That was the destination, and what he had to do to get there.
Yep.
And how many hours he practiced, and all of that. And so all those athletes are like that. And so a personal mission statement, it's a life changer if you'll do it and you'll do it right. And it's one of those things when you have that setback that you can break that piece of paper out that says, here's where I'm going now. I've had a little setback, but I still know where San Francisco is.
Yeah, right on.
I still know where that cabin in the mountains is.
I love everything you're saying, and sometimes these ideas can be really big, and like you hear people talk about them at keynotes and stuff. But like, how do you do it? And so what you're saying is, and by the way, it's personal for a reason, right? It can be I want to retire at 50 and go work for Habitat for Humanity with everything I've learned. I want to become a professional poker. Like, it's your personal mission statement, but it's got to be written down, because you say written is real.
It's got to be written.
I talk to a lot of people, and they're like, oh yeah, I've got mission statement. I'm like, show me. And they're like, oh, I mean, you mean written? And I was like, oh, we call that a wish. And so, so what you're saying is do the work, paint a really good, vivid picture.
Right.
Like I know.
Vivid.
Yeah, like it's a log cabin, right? And it's in this part of and it looks like this. I'm going to plan these, and we've even talked about, like, I know some really successful people that do vision boards.
Right.
And they wake up and they focus on it.
Yeah.
And then what you're saying is decide. Your values help you decide what you'll pay and what you want, because if part of your personal mission is to be at the cabin, enjoy it with the grandkids and the kids, but you burn your family along the way, then
that doesn't work.
That's an empty vision, right?
Yeah, and there's two reasons why people don't do a personal mission statement.
Yeah.
Two reasons. One, the number one reason is I'll get to it one day.
Procrastination.
And you have to ask yourself, is it one day or day one? Right? And the second one, their values don't match their vision.
Right.
In other words, you can't say, I want that. This is what my goal is. Here's how I'm going to work on it. Here's the means to get it. Well, I don't really want to work Saturdays to get that. Like, I'm not going to work extra.
Yep. No.
Like then they don't match, right? And so you got to put in the time. And one thing that I'll tell you, one of the most important ones that I've learned over the years from the friends that I have is you got to give back. You got to give back. And so if anything, history has showed us that the power of joy comes from giving, not receiving.
True.
And I'll tell you, all of the great people that you respect and that I respect and that you respect, they're all givers.
Every one of them.
Every one of our friends that are coming on Fridays, they all give back.
Yeah. No one ever says, hey, come over to my place and meet my real friend. Man, he's so selfish, you'll love him. I'll take phrases not said for 100, please, Alex. I had a really good relationship with Dewey Jenkins. Oh, man.
Just a huge mentor of mine, just a legend in the industry. And Dewey told me one time, like, I've been trying to give it away for 25 years, and the more I give it away, the more it comes back to me.
There's some principle in that.
There's a great principle there.
There's a great principle.
Yeah.
As I listen to you talk, I'm reflecting on my own journey, and it's funny. Jerry and I are dumb enough to drink our own Kool-Aid, right? Like, I pulled out a notepad. When I was I was actually a manufacturer's rep came in, and I remember the day. I was sitting in a tech meeting, and I wrote it down, and there's a date, and we both do this stuff. We do this, and I know you found one from like, was it 10 years ago? I had one from like 01. It's bonkers.
And isn't it good?
Oh my gosh! And
we've talked about this before. Listen,
it's creepy.
It's not always the destination that makes it successful.
No.
It's what you become trying to get there. It's who you become
and what
trying
you get
to hit that
back.
goal. And what you did to give back and how that affects, like this, a ripple effect. And you threw in the first stone, right?
Can I piggyback on one thing? Like I'm thinking of my own journey, and I'm thinking of some other people that I've talked about this stuff, and they're saying the right things, but when you have the conversation, in some of the more honest moments, both with myself and others, one of the reasons that sometimes people don't call their shot and plan the vision and put it out loud or share it with friends or write it down is because then they'll absolutely know they missed. If you don't write it down,
Yeah.
And so
my biggest goals.
Yeah.
And personal mission statement is kind of like goal setting. It has a lot of similarities, but like the ones that scare me the most, I tell other people about them.
I know some of yours.
Yeah, like the ones that like I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Then I make sure somebody else knows, because he'll hold me accountable.
That's right.
Where I might not hold myself accountable.
And other people can help too. They're like, hey, you're into this thing, right?
Yeah.
You were talking about that. And so, they sometimes call that a BHAG, right? A big, hairy, audacious goal.
You need a BHAG in life.
Yeah, you need a BHAG buddy. Hashtag, let's get that trending. I'll be your BHAG buddy.
Yeah, hey, that's a good point. But that's what we got. Personal mission statement. Look it up. Learn how to do it. Write it down. When you go through some tough times in life, and we all have them, pull that thing out and say, hey, here's my vision, and I'm not.
It's a fun event to invite others into. We've done this as a family, and the point of having the autonomy and control of your destiny is to be able to hold that rudder.
Yeah.
And you got to know where you're going to be able to hold the rein. And you know what? We talk about emotional leftovers. When you do this exercise, the things that come up in life become much easier to deal with. As you get opportunities or you get circumstances, you can just look at this and say, does this help me get further or closer to my goal? And all of a sudden, all that mental math you need to do sometimes either aligns or it doesn't. The values, the principles, they either align or don't. And by the way, if you haven't written down a principle exercise, if you don't know what your values and you can't actually say them out to other people, that's a great exercise too. It's powerful, powerful gas in the vision tank. And so I really appreciate you sharing that. I know you're a big believer in that. I know you put a lot of time in. You want to deliver that message. Well, we'll probably do a blog on it and
yeah,
get
we'll
our
do a
schedule
blog on it. If you have like ping us if you have comments about this. You want to hear more about it. Like I can talk about this at length.
A long time.
And they're giving me the sign.
So let's do that. Let's do this. Decide today, what is your North Star? What's your vision? Decide what the principles you're going to use to get there, the time frame, and then write it down. And if you've got it written down, pull it out, look it out, and share it. So that's it. Thank you very much to our friends here at the Toolshed, the wonderful team that makes us look good every day. It takes a village to make these two guys look like they know what they're doing. And we appreciate them. And of course, it's all made possible by our friends at Schedule Engine and our wonderful team at Emerson. And we're so grateful. Jerry, take it away.
Hey, thanks for stopping by the Toolshed. Living that shed life. Have a great day.
Peace.
Thanks.